Hi and welcome along to the Bias Premier League show, brought to you today by Boohoo Man. Want to wish everybody a happy new year. We are now into 2024. And of course, don't forget, even though it's 2024, the deal still stands with Boohoo Man. You want to get gear like what we've got on, use the code AFTV10 and you get an extra 10% off. And there's sales and all that going on right now. An extra 10% off. So jump into it right now. Big up to Ty in the studio. Big up to White Yardie. Big up yourself, man. Remember, my man just came for the show.
Carl Shilton.
Right? You've used that joke about 10 times before. That's why you're not a comedian, right?
I'm only kidding.
My man has just literally come straight from the airport where he's flown in from Toronto.
Wow.
Right? Or was it Ottawa? He was in Ottawa.
Toronto and Ottawa, so I did.
He was in Toronto and Ottawa. He flew in and has left from the airport and come directly to the studio to do the show. That is commitment, bro.
Wow. Yeah, definite, man.
More commitment shown than what I saw from Arsenal on Sunday. Right? Because on Sunday in that game against Fulham, I did not see that level of commitment from the Arsenal players. I did not see that at all. As a matter of fact, actually, the West Ham game, listen, poor result, but they had 30 shots in the game. The Fulham game, however, poor performance. 1-0 up as well. 1-0 up, and then after that, we just switched off.
Yeah, like
we just switched off and just started
What you said was right, Robbie, man. No commitment. You're right. Like the West Ham game, you can see, like, it's disappointed because we played well. It's just we didn't
convert the chances.
West Ham defended well. Yeah. Let's be real about it. They defended really well. The keeper as well pulling off some saves. So, it's one of them days. It's just one of them days. But the Fulham game, like, honestly, it was so disappointing to watch. Like, I was wondering, especially we went out to a goal so early. We got the goal so early. And then it was like, we just turn off. Like, literally turn off.
I was expecting him to kick on after that.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
I was thinking to myself, right, now we're going to see an urgency to get more goals.
Yeah.
We're going to, like, a real response.
And then
it was just missing.
Nothing at all. It was awful, man. That was the worst performance of the season.
Yeah, Arteta even said it himself.
The worst. That wasn't even a performance. It was just terrible. Like our like, what I noticed here? This is something that I noticed. All right, we know that this season we haven't been playing as we was the season before, right? We know we're not really seeing a lot of that nice fluency. We're not seeing the 1-2 here and there and getting the goals. We're not seeing that. But we were getting results, and we were like, defensively we're looking better as long as we're getting the results. But I think that one of the problems that I noticed this season is that we have kind of changed our our midfield is changed. It's completely changed. Xhaka and Partey coming out has changed that midfield completely. We know we still have Partey, he's not back yet, but Rice and Odegaard are the only two that are always consistent in the midfield. Obviously Havertz here and there. Sometimes he puts Havertz in. Sometimes he's put Trossard there, and there's been times he's used Jorginho as well. But I feel like that is where it's affecting as well some of our play, because Odegaard, to me, he doesn't really seem like he's being effective in central. Like, he's not, most of the time he's out on the right with Saka, and he's passing to Saka, receiving it back, passing to Saka, and looking to put the ball in the box by a cross, where last season he was coming in more central, and getting those, link-up plays together. So I feel like our midfield definitely needs fixing moving forward, because if we're going to carry on like this, we'll be battling for top 4.
I'll tell you what, right? Well, that's it. Are we,
it's not over, sorry.
Is it
it's
a
not
title
over.
race now or top 4 battle?
We're still, listen, there's still, 18 games left. It's still halfway through the season. There's loads of games. There's loads of people going to be losing. We still have to play Liverpool. We still have to play Man City. We still have to play Villa. We have all these teams still to play, right, who are above us. And if we can win these games, then we take points off them. People are going to drop points along the way. Yeah. We're not worried. I'm not worried about that. It's just if we're going to be dropping more, because we might look at it like, we haven't won in 4 games, right? We've had 3 losses in 4 games. To me, that translates as 1 point out of 12. That's when you start looking like, 1
Poor
point
run
out of 12?
It's actually a poor run of form.
Awful.
And actually, my theory on it, right, just before I come to you, Ty, right?
Yeah.
My theory on it is this, right, is that, yeah, maybe we may not be playing quite as fluently as last season.
No.
But the big difference for me is that there's so many players that are not playing as well as they did last season. So you look at Saka, in that game against Fulham, he had a poor game. Even though he scored, he had a poor game. That chance he had that fell to him, where he just lumped that over the bar, he weren't missing those chances last year.
No.
Right? That was an easy chance, you know.
He had time to take it down.
That would have made it 2-1. He had time to take it down, he rushed it. He's not playing well, right? Martinelli is nowhere near what we saw from Martinelli last season. He's still doing all the work and everything like that, but his end product, his finishing, everything's been way off, right? Odegaard as well has not been the Odegaard that we saw last season. He's still, against the work rate's still there and all that, but he's not the guy that was playing last season. Then I'll tell you the other thing as well, the fullbacks. Ben White has been a shadow of what I saw last season, and he's very important to how we play, right? Because him getting those overlapping runs and the passing and the link-up play between him and Saka was brilliant last year. Not seeing that. And then on the other flank, I'm not seeing that either. I'm not seeing nothing on that left-hand side. I mean, particularly on Sunday with Kivior there, I didn't see anything at all. Now, I know that obviously with Mikel Arteta, he brought in Jurriën Timber, thought this would be a guy that would be able to cover them positions and if there were drop-offs. And unfortunately, the injury to him has really hampered us. But to me, those are the key areas that I'm looking at right now. You are right about the midfield, missing Partey and stuff. Would have been great to have had Partey and Rice and that in there.
Yeah,
fantastic.
But even so, the style of play that we play, which depends on a lot of width, if you ain't got the fullbacks involved in that, right, it then becomes very predictable. Double them up, make it difficult for them. Keep them out wide as long as possible so we can get organised in the box. So when crosses come in and that, we can snuff it out. And that's what last 2 games we've seen teams do that. Even when you think about it, at Aston Villa, they did it once they went 1-0 up, just went up into a shape and we found it very difficult to break down. So we've got to get our style of play together. I agree with you, Yardy, it ain't over yet. Listen, I remember saying that even if we won the last 2 games and people would be like, you're going to win the league, I'd still say no.
Yeah.
Right? I still say let's wait and see because we saw last year we were 8 points clear and we didn't win it. And the one thing I do think, I feel that this season it's going to be more difficult to win the league for everybody because I just feel that there's so many teams that can take points. I know Liverpool have only lost 1 game, but they've looked vulnerable in other games. They've looked like a team you can score against. And they haven't really had their blip yet. We're having ours. City have had theirs. City, to me, are the main team to worry about now with De Bruyne and all that coming back. And now, you know, they win their game in hand. They're above us by 4 points as well. So it's not over, but those were 2 damaging defeats. Now, I've got to take you up on this, right? Because I couldn't believe you on Sunday blaming the refs. It's got nothing to do. Listen, you can argue.
They never blame the rain.
You can argue a referee decision. You can argue a referee decision, and I do agree with you that the referee did allow a lot of things to go, but he kind of did it on both sides, right? He was sort of consistent with what he did. We just did not turn up, Ty. You have to admit that we just did not turn up, and it was not a good enough performance. And even Arteta after the game, he weren't blaming the ref. He was having a go at the team. Poor. You can have a go at him, you know. Even Mikel Arteta, it's his team, it's his players, he's with them every day. Said after the game it was our worst performance of the season. That's all it was.
Fair enough. But I can't start by not saying hearts and thoughts and prayers go out to the earthquake victims in Japan. About 30 people died. So, you know, hearts and thoughts and prayers go out to them. So sad. No, first of all, when you're saying that, Robbie, what I'm saying is I'm blaming him for his part. Obviously, we take the blame for what we didn't do. But
let's focus on that.
Okay. Yeah, it's disappointing. We should always be beating Fulham. It's disappointing. But you're saying that. I look at
1 point from Fulham this season.
Yeah, it is. We should have beat. We should have
Yo.
been. We should
1 point from Fulham.
Yeah, it's this point.
That's
We
that,
should.
yeah,
We should have
that's-
beat. We should have beaten them twice, and we're not playing well. And all
No. We shouldn't. When we played them
should
at
beat them.
when we played them at home.
What I mean,
When
we
we played
should
them
beat
at
them
home,
twice.
and we shouldn't have beaten them on Sunday. They played. They
but-
deserved the win.
No, I mean we should beat them twice every season. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, no.
What's gone wrong?
Nothing that we can't fix. It's just.
But what do you think's gone wrong?
Boy, I don't know. Maybe it's like Yardi says. The midfield is not playing as well. Obviously, Gable's not playing as well. Bukai's not playing as well. But then what I would say to counter that is that they played out of their skin last season. So unfortunately, this is always.
We done business about last season now.
This season.
So
man.
yeah,
This season.
Yeah. So
Last year, and this year, and this year. Remember that reggae tune? Yeah? Right? This year we're dealing with.
That's good, Robbie. That's good. You got the first tune in first. Yeah, this year we did it, but like I said, we played so well. We even overachieved last season. That there's gonna be a time when there's gonna be a drop off. I think for us, you don't want to drop off, but if the drop off is happening now, we can swear out because there's a long, long way to go. Is the league over? No. Can we challenge for the league? Yes. Like Yardi said, we've beaten everybody. We've beaten everybody in the fact that we have
Fulham.
No, but we've beaten the top teams. We've beaten Man City.
Well, that
we've
don't
beaten
mean nothing if you don't beat the other teams
So
as
what
well.
it means then is that unfortunately you don't want this, but obviously the draw against Anfield was big for our belief that
No. You know that draw against Anfield now, right?
No, man.
When you actually look at it, if we would have had a normal services, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say normal services, right? So
Yeah.
normal services would have been we would have gone to Anfield and probably lost. But then we would have come back, we'd have beaten West Ham and Fulham. We'd be better off. We would have 6 points.
We would
Now
do.
only got one.
Yes,
It
but
was a great point at Anfield, but now that looks like you just look at it in the like how Yardi just said, in a framework of games.
Yeah.
The last 5 games we've played, we've got 4 points.
Yeah.
That's
Out
shocking.
of 15.
it's shocking.
That's
it's shocking.
poor.
Terrible.
It's poor.
Right, so that needs to be addressed and addressed
It will-
quickly.
it will be.
Yardi, do we address that by going into the transfer market? It's January, the
No, they have
transfer
to.
window's open. What do we need?
I think we definitely need to get a striker in. That is a striker that is going to get. Because you know something that I noticed as well? You see the goal, that the first goal Fulham scored? I'm thinking back, when have I seen Arsenal score a goal like that? Where the ball comes in across the, and there's a striker just ready to put it in the box.
So you mean when the player gets fouled?
No, we're not talking
and
about. I'm talking
and
about
not being
the
seen?
style of goal. I see a lot of teams get those, and we don't really get goals like that. And it's because we don't have somebody, a target man in the middle that we can send the ball into like that. So our play is a bit different. We are trying to find different ways of getting the ball to our striker. And so I feel like we do need another option up front. We do need that up
definitely.
front. I think.
But will we get it? That's the thing.
Listen,
Will we get it in January?
Cedric, we need. I don't know who's gonna buy Cedric, but he ain't even getting games to show if he is worth. People can say, hey, he looks decent enough. Let's get him.
He's a good player.
We definitely need somebody at right back. We need Ben White needs some competition there. I know they're saying that he had a bit of an injury or something that he's been playing with.
Yeah, there has been that
So
rumour that
that's
he's
just
been
good.
carrying a bit,
Yeah.
and that would explain it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he ain't been the same player.
No.
And even they're saying that Saka's been carrying a bit of an
Yeah.
Achilles injury as well.
We start
But this is what
surprising
I'm trying to say. If we have somebody to cover Ben White, then at least then Ben White can get the rest to recover. Saka as well. Like, look, hey, give Reece Nelson a chance as well. And if the man injured, like you're telling me against Fulham, you took off Jesus and bring on Eddie.
No.
Eddie started.
Eddie
No, that's what
started.
I'm saying. That's what I mean. You started Eddie. If Saka's not feeling 100, like I know you want him to play every game, but let Nelson go then. If you're gonna change, why never just change the whole front three? Why never put Trossard and Eddie and Nelson then?
The
Yes,
whole
I mean.
front three's not firing at the moment. All three of them. They're not firing, and
We need.
and
we
then
need
even the
something.
guys that are coming off the bench are not firing. I mean, you watched Liverpool last night.
Yeah.
And they're able to bring on players that then come on and score,
Mm-hmm.
which we've been able to do in the past. And then they've got the quality of a player like Salah, which is normally that would be Saka for us.
Yeah.
But we don't have a player that was going to score like 20, 25 goals. We really do depend on all those front three getting in your 10s,
Yeah.
your 15s, and they're just not doing it at the moment. None of them.
I
They're
think-
all missing chances.
I know you said going transfer. I want us to go in the transfer window because we do need to strengthen the squad, especially if we're serious about competing for this title. But also, these players that are there have the potential. They have it.
Yeah, they've got to step
We've
up, of
seen
course.
it. They're
They've
young
got to step
players
up.
and they have the potential. The best thing they can do now is just be like, all right, pick themselves up and go. Let us, the fans, feel down about it. You don't feel down about it. You
No, but
go
then we
there
don't.
and pick our spirits back up.
Yeah.
Because they have it.
And they got a perfect game to pick the spirits up, I feel, this week with Liverpool in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
At home, right?
Yeah.
Tough game.
Yeah.
All eyes will be on the team. A chance for them to say, right, you know what? The form's been bad, but we're back. Because after that, there's then a little break.
Yeah.
I don't even know if Arsenal will be happy with the break, or will they be? I mean,
Well, if we
apparently
beat Liverpool, we will.
They may go away warm with a training.
Yeah.
In Dubai, they said, you know what I mean, which I think they need. They need to, and they've got to buy someone in this transfer window. The problem is this transfer window is who? Ivan Toney, who I think would be perfect. I don't think we're going to get because
No,
I
in
They
just
want
January.
don't-
100 mil.
well, it's not even that.
not in January, he's not even fit.
Brentford, they've lost their last 5 games, Brentford.
Exactly.
Right? Mbuemo's out injured, who's been scoring the goals whilst he's been away. And Wissa's going away, their other striker.
No, they would
he's
sell him.
going
They
away
would,
to the
I
African
mean,
Cup of Nations.
I think they would sell him.
No, not if they're in a relegation fight,
No,
which
if
they
you,
are now.
no, if
Well, they're
you
just
if you
above the
offer, if they get in the money that they're asking for and know they can get a replacement or 2, they would. Because if they get in 80 to 100 million for Toney, they can go out and get 2 strikers, 3 strikers.
Yeah, but
Like we can give them Eddie on as well.
No.
What?
No.
Yeah, man.
you wouldn't do that.
We give them Eddie.
No.
Eddie plus,
Plus
some
cash.
millions for Ivan Toney.
Absolutely not.
160 million on Eddie.
Add him to Eddie.
Why?
Add him to Eddie.
Hold on, wait a minute, why?
Because there's no point in selling now.
So if you think
No, hold on,
if
hold
we
on.
bring
I
if-
still want it. I
so
still
if we
want to
bring
keep Eddie.
Toney in, if we
Yeah.
bring Toney in and have
Yeah.
Jesus, when do you think Eddie's gonna play?
That's up to him.
No, but hold on, going back to it.
Add.
Eddie and Ketchup, so Brentford say, all right, we'll do a deal.
60
Eddie
million
and
on
Ketchup plus 50 million.
Yeah, 50.
No. I'll still say no.
A good thing you're
Buy
not running the
Ivan
club.
Toney. No. Buy Ivan Toney outright. Add him to Eddie. Add him. No,
No,
that's what I mean.
listen, I respect Eddie a lot, right? And I think Eddie would, even if he went to a Brentford, he'd do really well.
Yeah.
as
I'd do
as well.
Right? I'd do that deal.
Yep.
Well, even though we can buy Ivan Toney outright.
No,
Without having to sell.
Ivan, because he's so expensive, Eddie and Ketchup plus, say, 50 million for Ivan Toney.
No. The only way I wouldn't sell Eddie, but if I did, which I wouldn't, I'd be selling Eddie abroad. That's what I'd be doing. I'd be selling him abroad. I'd be selling him abroad. No, I'm not saying, but if I
I know
was to
you
sell-
like the player, right? You like every Arsenal player, but you wouldn't think that's a good deal for Arsenal.
Listen, I'm just thinking about what's the point?
Ivan Toney, 20-odd goals last season.
Absolutely.
Don't you think he's a more clinical striker
Absolutely.
than Eddie?
Different
Yes.
as
Right?
well.
So why wouldn't you want to do a deal
Because I
like that?
want to add to 2. I want to add to 2.
But you're in a situation that you can't add to 2 because of financial constraints, and that's a way of getting the deal done. Would you not do that?
No, I wouldn't do it. I
Why?
wouldn't do it. Because I'm gonna say to Eddie and Gabriel J, you can score the goals. Go and score them.
But they're not.
No, but that's not.
At the moment, they're not scoring them.
They're
You're not justifying the reasons other than,
They're not-
you know what I
they're
mean?
not,
You're
but
just
they
trying
will.
to support your player. I know that. I know where you stay, right? Which is a good thing in a way, but also it can be detrimental.
Yeah.
If we want in the next best striker last year, it was Haaland to Harry Kane,
Yeah, and then
Ivan
Toney.
Toney.
Yeah,
Obviously, Kane's gone on to a thing.
Yeah.
Haaland's at City. We
Yeah.
could get Ivan Toney.
Suppose Man
Yeah.
City said give them 100 million and Eddie Ketia for Haaland. You'd say no?
He'd probably say no to that as well.
Add Haaland to Eddie as well. Is what I would say.
It's no point arguing with him, man. Who's your boohoo man of the week, man?
Boo-hoo man of the week for
He ain't
me.
an Arsenal player, I know that.
I'm going to give it to, well, technically, there are some Arsenal players there.
Yeah. There's
Yeah,
about. There's
two there.
there's
Who?
2. Yeah.
Who are you
There's two.
talking?
Nottingham Forest
Oh.
is boo-hoo man of the week, beating
Matt.
Man United. And the thing about it, as soon as you know, it is with Man United, yeah. They got the equalizer, right? Rashford scored.
Yeah, it was a mistake by Matt.
And they keep
Matt Turner.
yeah, but guess what? He made up for it.
He did.
Because he played a part in that
goal, yeah.
Because as soon as he got
two
it,
great
he
saves
released it
afterwards.
straight away. He went on.
He was poor in that game.
It doesn't matter. They won. They won. But you know what? You know what happened? Let me tell you what happened in that game, Man United. Rashford scored the equalizer for you guys. And you all went online and praised Garnacho. You didn't mention Rashford. You always like, thank God for Garnacho. Amen, Garnacho. And I'm like, okay, he got the assist, but Rashford finished it. And you didn't give him no praise. So you know what happened? Karma. Because straight down the next line, they went down there and they scored very similar goal. Gibbs White scored a nice goal.
It's good for
and
you.
yeah, man. So that they get Nottingham Forest is boohoo.
Idiot of the week.
So Man United, you get a break this week. Because idiot of the week, I give it to Arsenal.
Yeah. You can't argue with that. We are. Right? You know what I mean?
Arsenal are idiot of the week, man.
Yeah. I mean, an opportunity. You think about it, right? On Christmas Day,
Oh my God.
we were top of the league. By New Year's, a week later, we're fourth. Right? 5 points off the top.
Damn.
Nah, man, idiot thing. And all right, the West Ham game, all right, forgiven. First game defeat at home this season. It can happen. 30 shots. Let's see a response. You go 1-0 up, brilliant. And then put in a performance like that afterwards.
The man them drop asleep, man.
Terrible.
The man them score a goal and go sleep.
Idiot of the week, 100% Arsenal. Unfortunately, we hate giving it to our team, but we deserve it this week.
Definitely.
We're getting loads of stick, and we deserve it.
Yeah.
But how do we bounce back? That's the main thing. Can we bounce back?
We can.
That's the main thing. The game against Liverpool, the FA Cup, a good way, and actually now it becomes more important because there's a chance to win a trophy, right? So we don't want to let that slip as well.
No.
Ty, disgrace, or grace, or grace.
Wow.
And you ain't got long. You got about a couple of minutes.
I would like grace of the week, but it's going to be disgrace of the week. But you're saying about we're getting a lot of stick. That's what I mean. So if we're getting a lot of stick, anyway.
No, we are.
Yeah,
and
but
we
then
deserve it.
But you said I can have a go at them. What am I going to have a go at them for? I'd rather get behind them. I'm not saying that.
I am right behind them.
No,
they deserve the stick they're getting because those performances are not good enough.
Robert,
and the thing is about professional football, let me explain to you, right? You can have a go, right? Because I've luckily spoken to many a professional footballer, many Arsenal players, right?
Yeah.
And they know when they've not done well.
Exactly.
Right? So it's not like we're being unfair, we're not being unjust, we're not ripping into people for the sake of it. We're saying that wasn't good enough.
Yeah, they will understand it.
I'm at the game and I'm watching it, I'm like, come on, man. This is poor Arsenal.
Absolutely.
And Mikel Arteta said the worst performance of the season.
That's fine, but what I'm saying, Robbie, I'm saying on this platform. What do I have to do? That's what
Say what you want.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'd rather, I'm not going to have a go at them on this platform because we're getting it most. I'm not saying it anyone could do it, but for me, because we're getting it all the time. We get it all the time. Even when we're winning, we get it. So I'm not going to say on this platform.
Okay, don't do it.
You know. So, but then, what's that?
Do it on the next
another platform.
No, what other? Oh,
if you're not going to do
DR Sports. No.
All right, listen, hurry up,
no
man.
platform.
So
but first of all, disgrace. But first of all, I have to say,
You ain't got time for that.
Happy New
You don't have time for that. Yardi needs to get onto his family.
Yeah, but you don't have to
We've
say.
already said Happy New Year and all that.
Yeah.
I've got another show I have to go and film. Yardi has to
You
go
would
to his
like to
family.
say it,
So that
you
can't
don't
be
have
done.
to.
What's next?
Thank you to all the hard work for last year. To you,
You said all that before that.
AFTV
we know about
and
that.
DR
Thank you
Sports.
for that. What's the next thing?
It's really rushing me. But the disgrace of the week is, that's what I mean, it can only be, and I don't think it's VAR. And with that, I add the officials, the linesmen or the lineswomen, and and everyone, because I can't understand for the football life of me how, when we played West Ham, how they did not know whether the ball was in or out. You got Hawkeye in tennis. How can you not tell?
Yeah, that's something they need to sort out.
It's ridiculous. It's
Obviously, they don't have it at the moment. But
Why not?
For next season, that is something that they
How
have
much
to sort.
money is in football?
I agree.
How much money is ridiculous?
If you see the penalty that Liverpool got
No, I
yesterday,
didn't.
Oh
I didn't.
my
We was
God.
talking about it. Go on.
that was a
God.
dive. That was a
But yeah,
dive.
Kai got criticised against Manchester United.
He literally took a step after the apparent challenge and then said, "Hey, let me dive now."
Yeah. Both of them was the same.
And Newcastle actually didn't get a penalty for a trip, which was remember when Luis did get the red card and the penalty at Wolves?
Yeah.
for just the knee.
Yeah.
He didn't touch him.
I am fed up with this contact thing, right? You know what I mean? That now what basically that referee was saying yesterday, but by the way, that guy Anthony Taylor is one of the worst referees in the Premier League for me. His decisions yesterday were dreadful, like 3 penalties, got all of them wrong for me. Even the first one, the slightest of contact, right? Which again Diaz went down afterwards, right? If it's enough to bring you down, you go down, right? To me, I'm losing faith with football at the moment, right? Just some of these, I mean, it used to be in this country, like, we'd slag that off. We'd be like, that's a dive. Now we're just accepting it. I'm hearing Mike Dean saying, oh, well, there was a bit of contact, so he's chose to go down. That's a dive.
That's a dive then.
So what happened at Villa when Jesus' foot get kicked?
Yeah,
there was no contact.
If you get fouled, and the foul is enough to bring you down, you can't be getting fouled and then run a yard and realise you're not going to get the ball in and say to yourself, oh, let me go down for the penalty then. That's ridiculous, man. And it's an absolute joke, man, and something has to be done about it. But we've now moved into the realms here in the Premier League that diving now is an accepted thing.
Yes, and it's terrible.
I hate it.
No, I agree as well. But the funny thing, Yardy, Robbie, what makes me cool, and if I had enough energy, which I haven't, because I haven't slept in football terms, I'd fallen to the table, is the fact that Bukayo will be fouled, go down, and he'll be booked for it.
Well, no, you know the funny thing about it, right, is that I remember when we was at Liverpool, at Anfield a couple of weeks ago, and when Saka, it was a similar thing, like to the one, the Jota goal yesterday, where Saka's through.
Wasn't it Havertz as well?
He actually gets fouled, right? And the guy next to me said, go down!
Yeah. And
I said to myself, in my mind I'm saying to myself, no, I'm glad my players don't.
No, but didn't
at
Havertz
the end of the day, maybe that guy was right because we didn't get the penalty. No, it was the one where Saka
I know that one, but I'm saying there was a similar situation.
Alexander-Arnold on Kai.
Yeah.
No, there was one on Havertz in the Man United game where he went down.
Yeah.
Right, and then they reviewed it and they said there weren't enough contact.
No, but there was one with Trent. There was one with Trent and Kai.
When he pushed him over and never got the ball.
That was more than that, and that wasn't
Honestly,
given.
you're losing faith, man. You're losing faith.
They're too inconsistent.
Anyway, forget about all of that. Arsenal just got to get back on track this week against Liverpool. Massive game.
Good luck.
Right, we're going to make some great content around it here. We'll be back on Monday to talk about it. The game's on Sunday, so looking forward to that. Don't forget to use the code AFTV10 to get an additional 10% off all Boohoo Man wear. So make sure you check that out. Want to thank Yardy all the way from Canada straight to the studio.
He's already gone to sleep. Oh, no, that's one of his jokes. Just kidding.
And, well, maybe not big up to Ty. Yeah, big up to Ty, man. Happy New Year to both of you guys. Right?
Thank you.
Wishing you all 2024 of good health, wealth, and prosperity. And hopefully we can win a title.
Hopefully. Peace.